Well, thank you everyone for joining. Today we are going to be highlighting two amazing companies, first Prefixbox AI and then Quin AI. I will briefly introduce your speakers for today. First, you'll have me. My name's Aaron. I'm an account executive here at Prefixbox. I've been here for about a year and a half now, and I'll let Daniel introduce himself as well.
Hello everyone, great to be here. My name's Daniel, Partnerships Lead at Quin AI. We're a leading platform for intent and behavior prediction. I'm really looking forward to speaking with you all today.
Perfect. So today, first, we'll start off with Prefixbox, who we are, what we do. The nutshell, the short version of it is we provide AI search. We've been doing that for about 14 years now. We'll also get into Quin, their history, how they got to where they are today, and how they're helping retailers increase their conversions online. And then at the end, we'll put together what it would look like when you combine these two great technologies. Now, for the Prefixbox side, looking at it from a search aspect, most of the sites that you're shopping on and looking on nowadays, they offer sort of the same experience. If you search for exactly the product name, you're going to find what you need, no problem. However, a gap that a lot of stores are missing still nowadays is understanding what the user actually wants and what they're about to do. Are they just browsing? Are they already committed to a purchase? What's stopping them from making that purchase? And we're going to look into how both companies are solving those today. Now, from Prefixbox, we offer multiple suites outside of just the base search platform, And with search, we also have developed an AI agent, which is a little widget that goes on your website. It's in the bottom corner of the screen. It pops up, and it's basically like ChatGPT trained on your website. Now, you can ask it things like, I'm going to a wedding, help me pick out an outfit. Or you could even ask, what's the difference between the cotton and the polyester? You can ask support questions like tracking. It's your own personal shopping assistant. We also have a few other suites that help the user browse your catalog more easily. So for example, something like AI navigation. When the user lands on a search page, they'll see all sort of recommended similar searches to help them refine better. So you help them look for what they don't even know they're looking for. And there's a few other as well, but I won't go super deep into that. The main point will come a little bit later here. Now, with Prefixbox right now, we already have a personalization layer. It's not the same as what Quin does. So what Prefixbox can do today is we can connect to any business's CDP or really any third-party application, anything that we can connect via API that's doable, and including the CDP, where we can pull out certain attributes from the customer's past purchases, like their gender, their preferred color, preferred sizing, all of that. And we use that information to re-rank the search results. So when they search for sneakers, they're automatically going to see their sizes, their preferred brands, for example, first, and we'll push everything else a bit lower. Now, there are a little bit of limitations to that. So for example, the user has to be logged in. Or I guess the biggest limitation is the business themselves has to have a CDP that's able to be connected at first, which not everyone has. And so if they don't have it, we still provide aggregate personalization. So based on the entire traffic of the website. So when 100 users are searching for this brand and only 50 for brand Y, then you can go and see the next day when someone were to search for shoes, you're going to see that reflected in the changes, and it will re-rank. However, it's not as deep of a personalization, and it's not exactly real time, whereas Daniel will cover that a little bit later here. One more thing that I did forget to mention too, I think one of the biggest things that comes around personalization, everyone's worried about being data compliant. And from both Prefixbox and Quin side, both of us are fully data compliant. We don't store any personal identifiable information. So you can rest assured that everything is up to standards and used in a manner that protects your customers. For our AI agent, the personalization is it's one step further than our search, I would say. It's able to personalize in session. So if I were to start a chat with our agent and I say, I'm looking for a white outfit, the next time I ask for show me some pants, for example, it's going to know that my preference already leans towards white. However, if I visit from a different browser, if I come back a week later or something along those lines, a little bit of that personal context is lost. So you're able to personalize to an extent, and it does help out a lot, but you can always go one level deeper with it. So, for example, if I don't specifically say I prefer white clothes, maybe I was browsing white clothes on the site earlier, but I don't specifically tell the agent I'm looking for white clothes. It's not going to have a way to know that by itself, the base model. And so this is something that also some service like Quin would be able to help out with. Now, I mentioned a few of the gaps already. Some companies don't have a CDP, or if they have a CDP, it's not maybe it's not very up to date. It's not able to be connected to, and also with the agent, as I mentioned, it can only track from that exact conversation that we're talking in. It doesn't pay attention to what I'm doing when I'm browsing collections, when I'm searching for other products. It's very good out of the box for the uh, we'll say each individual use case. I think that's the best way to put it. However, it doesn't really know me as a person, what I want, what I need, what my end goal is. It just knows, okay, I want a shirt. I'm going to show you some shirts. It can't go to that next level. And this is exactly where Quin is going to be able to fill the gap there. So I'm going to let Daniel take it away for a minute here.
Great, thanks, Aaron. No, and you're right. It's exactly it's a key point. It's exactly what we see when we speak to brands, is that they don't have that real-time personal context or relevance to help smarten the journeys for their customers. Could move on to the next slide for me. Thank you. Just to give everyone a background about what Quin AI is specifically, we're a real-time behavioral prediction AI system specifically designed to predict live in-session intent. In around 70 milliseconds, we process thousands of different data points, all behavioral signals from dwell time, scrolls, clicks. And we then look at these navigation patterns and profile people based on their propensity, their likelihood that they're going to do something. Now, Quin AI was founded on the philosophy that there is a problem in personalization. Up to 70% of people are anonymous first-time browsers. That means that we're focusing on the 30%. We have an over-reliance on demographic and past purchase data to be able to personalize a website experience based on what we know. So what Quin has developed is an end-to-end automated system that can provide actions and insights for these 70%. It means that websites can now, by working with Quin, personalize on a one-to-one basis for 100% of their website traffic, bringing significant revenue to the brands we're working with. Good, move us through, Aaron, to the next one.
You bet. And really quickly before I do, I just like to, it's really nice that I think every website knows that there is a drop-off problem. You can't convert everyone, but it's nice to have an answer to the why. You know, you get all of these people dropping off, and okay, what could we do better? How can we improve the conversion rates? Well, that's the next step that you guys are taking. So I think that's a very important puzzle piece to fill in there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree. With the flow, just so everyone's just so I can bring the point home. The way Quin's working is for anonymous first-time browsers or people that are logged in, both on web and app. The journey starts at the start. Someone enters the website. Quin will start analyzing immediately their behavior, their scroll patterns, everything that I've said before, all in session, all in real time. We then segment them based on a huge range of predictive audiences. These are all bespoke per website, so we have a base model that is tweaked and learns how people navigate through a website. Of course, people shop on IKEA very differently to how they shop on Calvin Klein, for example. We then generate these predictive audiences, and Quin can work end to end and interact with a specific audience to change and fire a website experience. However, we're also extremely partner first. Of course, we are on a call today with Prefixbox, and we like to push and pull our data to power different different platforms. For example, personalization platforms like Monitator, or A/B testing providers like Optimizely, and many others as well. So, a quick look. We're moving beyond what did someone click on, and more so about what they want to do. Instead, then, of looking at the demographics, 25 to 38 male bought a blazer previously, and so we want to fire this product recommendation or send them this email. We're now looking at, are they a hesitant shopper? Are they a high intent shopper? Are they a price sensitive shopper? And based on these subcategories that we can predict, we can dynamically change emails, website layouts, produce different overlays to drive ROI, conversion rates, and loyalty. We have the privilege of doing this for brands like IKEA, Tommy, Calvin at PVH, and we co-developed one of our products with Kingfisher Group, with one of their brands as well.
Very nice. Now, one question, and I won't put it super high level, but what's a sign, for example, of like a hesitant shopper? What is Quin exactly looking at? What behavior would I show on the website that would make Quin fire that hesitant shopper?
It's a nice question. We actually get really granular into different types of hesitancy, because you can be hesitant because of the price. You can be price sensitive and become hesitant. You can become hesitant on the checkout cart page because of the type of payments available. So depending on the subcategories is how we'd want to interact with them. If we can identify that the shopper is struggling to check out or find the payment partner they want, maybe we can produce a widget or change the journey to improve that checkout process. Whereas if we can identify that someone has clicked on a product and has started to hesitate based on price, we can start servicing maybe the same sort of products, but ones that have been that are discounted or offered, or just cheaper products in general.
Right. Very nice. Very cool.
Sweet. This one, I really wanted to drive home the push and pull of our data. So Quin is a fully end-to-end system. You can plug us in, we can learn the audiences and start interacting on site. However, we know that the real value of Quin is sitting as the data and analytics layer, in which we can also integrate with many other companies in the technology stack to help optimize and improve their performance. And so it's a delight being partner manager at Quin. I get to work hand in hand with people like Aaron to really drive value for our brands. So an example of a joint product would be the work with Content Square. So we actually ingest data from Content Square based on product attribute data. Based on this, we're surfacing product recommendations that are not just rule-based, but they're predictive based on intent. So if we have a high intent shopper looking at certain products, they will get surfaced products that they're more likely to buy. So true personalization with that's real-time in session based on intent, integrated into a product recommendation engine based off of Content Square's data. We can also do this with Google and other sources as well.
Very nice. I think you touched on this a little bit, but yeah.
We have touched on it a little bit. I suppose just to bring the point home, we can push our data into search, merch, emails, CDPs, personalization platforms to fire their tools based on our intent segments. So the sky's the limit with the ways in which we can integrate into other into tech platforms. And so always happy to have those conversations with other partners. And of course, that's why it makes it so natural to be with Prefixbox today. Happy to announce the work that we're doing on the next few slides with Aaron. Particularly excited for it.
You bet. So, and first of all, I should mention, I just caught, I think I wasn't sharing the slides on the Prefixbox part, so I apologize for that. We did get that sorted, so you didn't miss any super crazy visuals, but we'll be able to provide that later to everyone who's attended. Now, back to the slideshow, which you can see now. I'd like to give an example of a realistic way that Prefixbox and Quin could work together, or this can be thought of as any sort of tech provider working with Quin. So for example, I'm a shopper, I'm looking at any sort of furniture store, and Quin flags me as a hesitant shopper. We can say it's even because of the price sensitivity. And actually, Dan, I believe you shared an example, a real example of one of your clients in the furniture industry. They noticed a lot of hesitancy and specifically in the bed section, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And all it took was for Quin to identify they're a hesitant shopper, and then they are able to produce a pop-up that reminds you, hey, by the way, we have a free return policy. So it's little nudges just like that that can help the shopper really drive home that final sale. And if we were to make that go even further, for example, if we were to integrate this same concept with our agent, it would be able to pop up, automatically say, hey, by the way, there's free returns. Can I help answer any questions that you have? So you can have that. It's more than just a pop-up. You would actually be able to have that conversational experience. And you can say, okay, we can learn exactly why they're having doubts. What do you need to know that would help you drive this home? Because it was quite successful, if I remember right, this free shipping campaign. And maybe still some of the people, they weren't hesitating because of the free shipping. And this would be able to provide that one extra layer, and you could capture an even bigger share of those drop-offs. And we could also, through the search side of it, we would be able to prioritize specifically the items that are in stock, ready to ship, ready to go. I think a lot of the reasons that some people might hesitate, some of them might be on a deadline, they might be in the middle of a remodeling project, excuse me. We don't really know if we don't capture that intent layer. So if you have both of these very sophisticated layers on your site, you're going to be able to capture so much more of the traffic on your site.
Yeah, I'll add
And
another. Oh, go on. I was just going to add another particular use case. You're right with the furniture retailer. That was 30% increase in specific category, both selling mattresses and beds together. Really successful campaign just by highlighting a free returns policy for those that have become hesitant during the journey. There's another one which came up within the same in the same space. It was a furniture retailer, home and DIY, I should say, that I didn't want to be blanket discounting on their website. They wanted to move away from that, and what they were using was intent and different behavior profiles to know who should they target to be offering a discount in email, or who should they be discounting to on the website, rather than giving away margins on a blanket discount scale. And they're saving significant money and generating high conversion rates off the back of that. I can see a similar use case here with Prefixbox, identifying who is hesitant for these high price point items maybe, and showing different products in search depending on what we can identify them as wanting to see.
exactly. And I think it would especially pair really well. We've reworked our AI model. We've developed an even newer AI model. It's called our AI re-ranker, which, surprise, it re-ranks products based on AI. So already you're going to be able to have a more refined set of results, and it's going to make that Quin targeting even easier. The people are already seeing what they want, and then that's even less, we'll say, less work for Quin to detect. Okay, we're already getting people, we'll say 30% or halfway through their shopping journey. Now we can really get granular with it and target the people who we want to target for whatever campaign is running. And I believe I have one more potential use case here. So when we do see a high intent buyer, and this kind of feeds into what you were saying, you don't necessarily want to just throw a discount at everyone. If they're willing to pay full price, by all means, let them pay full price. So you don't want to, if you have that high intent buyer, they might need a different sort of signal. It's not necessarily offering that discount. I think this would be an even better example for the free shipping notification. They're like 90% there. They just need that tiny little nudge to push them over. And so when Quinn is able to detect that they land on the website right away. They put in their search term. They don't even go past the first page. They see what they want. They maybe even add it to cart right away. But then we get that little bit of stalling there. And we would be able to have, for example, the agent would be able to pop up and say, hey, do you need help picking out sizing? I think this is I suppose this would work as well in the furniture industry, but I think especially in DIY and fashion, where the sizing really matters, it would be able to pop up. It's like you go to your local hardware store and the guy comes up to you, he sees you staring at the I don't know, we can say lawnmowers, for example. Like he comes up to you, he sees you're thinking, and he says, what size lawn do you have? You know, he knows that you need a lawnmower, but he's just going to help you get the one that you need. He's going to convince you that it's the right one for you, and he's going to even walk you to the cart. And that's exactly the type of experience that we would be able to provide with this highly personalized agent.
No, it sounds brilliant to me because it's one of my bugbears are those the ones that aren't personalized and seem to get in the way of the journey, just have no context. Maybe it's the third time you visited the website and you've been on the products previously and it's disjointed with what it knows about you. And by plugging in more intent, more data into it, by sharpening their decisioning, yeah, we can really improve that customer experience for users on the website.
And so here, I think the key point is not just identifying. We'll go back to my lawnmower example. It's not enough to just know that the shopper is looking for a lawnmower. What do they need it? Is it winter? Can they wait to buy it? Is it summer? Their old lawnmower broke and they need a new one right now. You need to be able to capture this kind of idea to provide that seamless, perfect, really guided shopping experience for them. Yes, you can go a long way with having the highly refined, we can just say like even a search. You can have this highly refined search and okay, good, it's going to help them find it. But then this extra layer and knowing who your shopper is, why they're shopping, when do they need it, how much are they willing to pay, that's going to help you drive the sales home way more efficiently than just a regular search tool alone. And as Dan mentioned here, you said it might be your third time visiting the website. But for most people, I can't think of a single, personally, I can't think of a single store an online store that I shop at where I would actually log in unless I was doing it at the cart. I'd always do it at the cart. For me, I mean, maybe I'm a weird person for that, but I always log in at the cart and, you know, if I can add some kind of discount or something along those lines. But with something like Quin, you're able to know the user doesn't have to take any action and it's just running in the background. It's not violating their privacy. It's just helping them get exactly what they want, tailoring it to their needs and their preferences. And
yeah, that
I
really
think
is. Go on. I was just gonna say that really is one of the key things about Quin is that that anonymous and first party data. You know, we don't need demographics or anything. It can all be run on anonymous data, all in real time. And just to bring your point home, I also don't log in very rarely into any profiles apart from on the cart page, which means that retailers at the moment are missing out on optimizing their experiences and catering towards people purely because they don't know who they are. They're working for that 30% that are logged in. The rest, so you're not weird, Aaron, you're part of that 70% that just aren't logged in when they're shopping. So yeah, that they're the majority, and that's what we should be working towards. There's a lot of money being left on the table and some quick wins by identifying or either helping brands to identify some of those 70% or catering the experience based on intent.
right. And additionally, those 70%, the ones who aren't going to log in or they're just casual visitors, they're already much lower intent than those 30% who log in. If they take the time to log in, they're a regular visitor. You're probably going to get them to buy something every once in a while. The focus shouldn't be as much on them. They're kind of, you've bought their loyalty, you bought they're dedicated to the brand. You don't really need to put as much effort in. Obviously, don't ignore them completely, but those 70% are they've got no care.
Yeah, that's where my mind was going. Alarm bells, definitely take care of that 30%. They're your bread and butter, your logged in ones, and your repeat purchase buyers. They've got the brand loyalty. You really take care of those for sure. But there's a huge majority of people shopping once or twice on the site. Yeah, give them the best experience possible and help them find what they want quickly, so that they can make that purchase.
And add them to that 30%. You can change your change your percentages there a little bit. Exactly. Now, I guess, Dan, why don't you just give us a quick overview? How does Quin integrate? How long does it take? What does that look like?
Sure, great. So Quin's actually been built as a really lightweight tool for brands to integrate on their website, which is fantastic because we have a really quick time to value. To integrate, what we need to do is to integrate via a JavaScript tag, via the data layer. We're agnostic, so we can work with Google, Telium, Adobe. That doesn't matter. Once we're tagged on site, we're pulling data. We need to go through a learning stage. That is about 5 to 10 days, depending on the size of the brand we're working with and the sample size of traffic. Once we have learnt our behavioral segments, we'll sit with the client consultatively to think about the experiments we'll run on the site, set up the automated process, and results can run. All in all, it can take 30 days or less. We can normally get the speed of the brand depending on how quickly they want to get things up and running.
Right. And I suppose, like you said, it's you start with the base model and then you do tweaking based on the brand, based on the industry. So I guess that's also
that's
a
part of that
factor
learning
there.
stage. That's exactly right. So we integrate and we have our base model, but then it needs to learn what a hesitant shopper looks like on each website, or what does someone lost look like on that particular website. So it's tweaked, and each model is bespoke per brand we work with.
Right. And then from the Prefixbox side, now search is a bit more complex because you need to render the entire results page. We need to be able to match that to your brand's theme, look, and feel. That we can, if everything is up to date, we get a product feed right away. There's smooth communication. We can get that running in about 3 weeks. That's about the standard time. That includes testing as well to make sure. Similar to Quin, we do have there's a base model of our search engine, and then depending on industry, we can make different tweaks for do we give more importance to the description? Do we give more importance to XYZ attributes? That can vary on industry. So that's about 3 weeks. Our AI agent is actually very quick to deploy. Usually we've been quoting brands about 2 weeks from start to go live. Honestly, if everything is running smoothly, we're all aligned and everything gets going, we might even be able to shave off a couple of days of that 2 weeks. It's very quick to integrate. Training the agent, just there's a section where you can upload PDFs, direct links from your website. So that training is all that can be done in minutes. And then I think most of the time spent on setting up the agent is getting that prompt just right. So in case you run into a user who is, we'll say, asking about support, you should answer like this. It's not meant to be, this isn't like an old school chatbot where you just have a million if-then statements, but you can generalize, and it's one big prompt box that you can type in freely. You can say, if a customer needs help with support, direct them here. If you don't want to, it already has a great idea from its base prompt, but every store is different, every industry is different. So that's why we give it about 2 weeks, just so we have enough time to play around with it. So that was a bit long-winded, but about 2 weeks for our agent, and then about 3 to 4 weeks for search on the Prefixbox end. And by the way, that would be able to, if we were to integrate the two together, Quin can be learning alongside. It's not like you would have to wait the 30 days or whatever it takes for your industry, plus the 30 days for Prefixbox. The two of those can be integrated side by side, and Quin can already start feeding into Prefixbox as soon as it's set up.
Yeah, good point.
And I think, Dan, that might be all for today. Do you have anything that maybe we skipped over?
Only at the very start, I didn't mention anything about taking questions. Is there functionality for questions to be put in?
Yes, there is. Yes, there
Let's
is.
just
Let me
double
see
check
if
to make sure we didn't miss anything during the start or during.
Absolutely. Let's
Also,
check
note,
it
I think
out.
there's a Christmas tree behind you.
Yes, yes, there is. We're gonna call it a Easter tree. Maybe we should change the colors of the.
Yeah, okay.
We can change the colors of it. It looks like no live questions at this time. However, we will be going through at the end, and we'll make sure to follow up with everyone that attended. We're happy to provide any sort of, if you'd like a use case tailored specifically to your company, Dan and I are happy to put that together. We can show exactly what others in your industry are seeing, what sort of results they're seeing from search, what they're seeing from Quin, from intent detection, and we could provide some sort of offer for you. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Dan, are we still offering a sort of an introductory offer for a Prefixbox Quin combination?
We are,
Okay.
yes. There is a package offer at the moment where if you have both together, it's yes, there is a saving to be had for sure. So happy to have
Perfect.
those joint discussions with both Prefixbox and Quin to look at what it could look like for you.
Perfect. All right. Well, then you can expect to hear from either Dan or I if you registered. Thank you for watching live, or thank you for going back to watch the recording. Dan and I promised each other before the call we'd keep it at 30 minutes. We're almost there. We've only broke it by a couple minutes. So